Mr. Arch Manning hasn't had the greatest of years so far. On the year, he has a completion percentage of 60.3%, 12 touchdowns, 5 picks, 13 sacks, 5 rushing touchdowns. But the numbers don't tell the full story. The story about Arch Manning is the inconsistencies. Bad game versus OSU, kind of an okay versus San Jose, bad game versus UTEP, good game versus Sam Houston, bad game versus Florida, good game versus OU, horrendous game versus Kentucky. It has just been a inconsistent mess for Arch Manning where it's been highs and lows. The roller coaster has been quite frustrating. And unlike a Quinn Ewers, who I often like to compare this team to when Quinn was in his first year, Quinn was a redshirt freshman. Arch Manning has been in the system for 3 years. So, that all said, we're going to be a little bit more optimistic here about Arch Manning. And by the way, I want to say this. I think Arch is a talented player that's going to be totally fine in the future. But I think that for this season specifically, how can Steve Sarkisian, quote unquote, fix Arch Manning moving forward so that way we have the best chance of making a bowl game or making the playoffs?
Yeah, so I think this comment hits it on the head right here. I think it's the guys around him too. Like the quarterback is only as good as his supporting cast. I don't care what quarterback you pick in football history. They had guys around them to help them make plays at some point, whether it's the run game or guys winning jump balls. Because Julian Sand isn't playing out of his mind because he's like this supreme, like he's talented, but he's throwing balls in the triple coverage, and Carnell Tate just come down with it.
True.
You know what I mean? Like it's like at some point the guys around him also have to step up and play consistent. Like it's the entire offense. O-line has to be consistent in pass protection and creating running lanes. The running backs have to take what the defenses give them, hit their gaps, and then be strong and get positive yards. The receivers have to get open consistently. So to me, to really fix Arch, it comes to fixing the things around him as well as fixing him, because I can tell pregame what type of game he's going to have based on how he looks in warmups, type of swagger, confidence, how he's talking to guys. When he's just loose in Oklahoma, he didn't have a care in the world. He was ready to play. Just all right. Then Kentucky, Florida, he was a little bit more uptight. Just like you didn't see the same bravado and the same aura. So, but I think part of that is because, like Florida, he took a beating. And after a while, like you get hit enough, this ball's coming out. I don't care who gets it at this point. So that's why I think those guys around him, like, we need playmakers. Like outside of Trey Wisner, who's really making plays. Parker's gone missing. Jack Andrews gone missing. We're trying to get Wingo the ball, but he's not winning at the top of routes consistently. Like, who's going to be the guy? Someone has to step up and just say, I'm going to be the guy. And because honestly, playing Texas offense, who do you take away? Who do you say worries you? Right? Based on what you're seeing on tape, I would go in the game plan like, all right, this is the game plan. This is what they like to do, but I don't have a specific guy. They don't like. There's
maybe Trey
there's no
Wiseman,
guy.
maybe.
Right.
Just shut the run game.
I would load the box, 8 in the box. Yeah. 5 is not running.
Yeah.
Right. And then on third down, I'm spying 16, and I'm playing man coverage because no one has shown me that they can win versus man consistently.
Yeah,
that's what I would do. So I think guys have to step up, like just all across the board. And then Sark got to help him out early. Like slants, hitches, go 5 wide, get the ball out quick.
Yeah.
Stay in the same personnel, change the formation, go tempo, hand it off. Like, to me, we have to make this game more simplistic for him. Not in terms of like because he can't process, but help him out to help his O-line out. Because now if the ball's coming out quick, pass rush not getting there, guys, everyone's able to get settled into the game. So, again, I think everyone on offense just has to elevate themselves in order for him to be the best version of himself. Coaches are included too.
Yeah, I think the issue that we're seeing with, I say issue, it's something that's totally fixable. the thing with Arch, he has everything in the tool shed, right? He can process
Yes.
fast. He can make every throw. He's a good athlete. He's big, strong. He's taking a beating back there, but he's getting up every single play. He's very durable. I almost liken this to very early Justin Fields in a way, and even now Justin Fields is struggling with some of these same things, but he never really fully developed him. Where Fields
True.
holds on to the football for a long time,
Way too long.
way too long,
Way too long.
and he
Right.
doesn't have the processing speed to get through one read to the other read. And sometimes even now, where he'll have a read open, but he's just doubting things. He's not
Yep.
seeing things clearly enough because he's just not ever had it. He's just never been a good processor, and he's taken enough sacks, seen enough coverages, and things of that nature. I think the thing for Steve Sarkisian that he's going to have to fix, and it's a really tough spot he's in right now because he has a super young offensive line with a quarterback that is going to hold on to the ball a little bit longer because he's still figuring things out. I almost sort of wonder if, man, and I'm sure he's doing enough of this, but can you keep 6 guys in protection? Can you keep 7 guys in protection? Just to give Arch that extra little bit of time to go through his progressions. And what makes a guy like Lamar Jackson is somebody who has some of the longest, holding on to the ball time. I think people often think that holding on to the football is a bad thing. It can be if you're Justin Fields, but if you're a Lamar or let's say Josh Allen, for example, that can make plays out of structure, like we've seen Arch being able to do, I think that you almost create your offense around that ability, right? He has that X factor of being able to make plays out of structure, being able to get out of sacks, get out of pressure, run around, make tight window throws on the outside. That's his X factor. I almost think we almost lean into that a little bit and say, hey, we may not get open immediately, but we're going to have extra people blocking for you. So that way you have that extra second or two for you to run around and then make that play. And in addition to that, we'll also give you the quick stuff so that way you can get into a rhythm. I think stuff like that is, kind of just, look, he's got X factors, he's got things that make him special. Lean into that a little bit more, right? Lean into his running ability, lean into his athleticism. He's not like, it's so funny. Like Quinn Ewers is almost the exact opposite, where Quinn tried to get the ball out as fast as he could because he couldn't process the pocket at all. That just was not his strength, right? So for Sark, it's almost like the Mike McDaniel thing with Tua, where it's like, I'm going to scheme you up wide open reads, and you just got to hit him. And Quinn did a very good job of that. So I almost think with Arch, it's you almost have to throw away the Quinn Ewers playbook and say, we got to make an Arch Manning playbook. And I don't know right now if he's done that fully.
Well, that's why, to your point, because that's actually a very good point in terms of 6 and 7 man protections. So, but with that, that's why to me, we have to run the ball effectively.
Yeah.
No matter what formations we get in, pistol, underneath, shotgun, if we can't line up and run the ball and get 4 to 5 yards of pop to where the defense has to honor every run fake, then those 6 and 7 man protections, because 6 man protections mean 4 are out with a possible check. Perfect, right? Mm-hmm. Then 7 man protection, 3 man route concept. So usually guys are pushing the ball downfield. So that's the time to dial up, crossers with Mosley or Wingo or injuries on the deep over. So, but all of that to me is predicated on, can we protect first, or can we run the ball to set up those looks? Because what the run does is get linebackers and safeties to line up, and then it creates an even bigger throwing window for Arch to say, oh, even if he misses, he has room to miss now. You know what I mean? Like, so to your point, which is an excellent point, 6 and 7 man protections would help the O-line a lot. But with that comes like an effective run game. If we can effectively get 4.5 yards of carry and hopefully CJ Baxter comes back in some capacity. Then I think pass protector. Right. Then I think those 6 and 7 man protections can set up a multitude of things, because not just the deep stuff, it would set up screens.
Yeah.
Because so many guards are staying in, now it's like, okay, now he didn't leaked out. Now it's the back, now it's the tight end. But it sets up it gives you options. So that's actually a really good point that I never thought of, because I thought we had 5 that could pass protect. But when you look at it, I'm like, well, we don't. Now it's like, all right, now it's we have to play rookie ball with Arch.
Yeah.
What do you do with rookie quarterbacks? You run the ball, play action pass, and every now and again they'll do some special. That's why you took them so high. That's how we have to play. And really, it's first and second down. If we can be effective on first and second, and get 4 yards a pop on each of those, and keep third and manageable. Oh my God! Because now they can't just pin their ears back for pass.
Yeah,
they can't just, you know what I mean? Like they have to be ready for a little bit of everything, because the playbook's so wide open still, and it leaves you room to say, okay, you know what? We're in the fringe area in between the 40s at the 50. We can take a shot here because we're going for it, because defense is playing well. Like it gives you those opportunities to maybe dial something up deep, and if you don't hit it, it's still 4th and 2, 4th and 3. You're like, you know what? We can get it, because this is what I would have called had we been in a different situation. So to me, but all of that to me is predicated on can we move people and run the ball.
Yep. Yeah, and I think you can marriage that with tempo as well, right?
Absolutely.
Because if you have that tempo, you might be able to run the football a little better. Yep. And again, once you get that run game going, you might be able to get some play action thing, which I don't really know if Arch is really that good at play action right now. I just don't think that's
not
his
yet
strength.
Not
He's
yet.
got to develop that as a player. I mean, we've talked about it in the past where you don't want this dude turning his back to that defense yet, because he just doesn't process the field fast enough, and
he doesn't know how to hide the ball either.
No, that's a big thing he has to develop. The little nuances, he'll get there eventually.
And I mean, he has an uncle who was like excellent at it, at showing it, and then whether it was run or like everything looked the same, he would marry his running pass, so it all looked the same. Like in terms of play action, like Arch has to get there. Even in the gun, you can hold that read a little longer to make him feel run, get those guys to come up, and then get in your drop. But that's all the nuances of playing quarterback that he will get better at.
Yeah, and I think with Arch, a lot of the throws he has missed are throws that are in the structure of the offense, right? If that makes sense, where they're schemed open, like the slant to Emmett, right, way over his head. That I think it was Jack Andrews' miss against Kentucky. That was a schemed open miss. A lot of Arch's best throws are the throws where he's not looking at his first read, or he goes from his first read to his second read, or he looks 1 read, 2 read, not open. I'm a bail, roll out. Here's a dime on the in the goal in the Oklahoma game, right? So I think you lean into that a little bit more and say, okay, if he's going to be better making plays out of structure, let's find more ways to be better around him out of structure, and that includes more people in the box, or more people protecting, holding on a little bit better. But a lot of this stuff with Arch Manning, I do think is fixable. That's the thing for me that makes me the most excited about Arch in terms of his future is this is going to be the worst version of Arch. This is also going to be the worst offensive line that he'll be behind. He's going to get more of chemistry and connection with Wingo. We'll probably get a bit faster in the offseason, because I'm sure we're going to target some speed in the transfer portal. And so I look at what this team offensively can look like next year. I think it's pretty exciting, assuming Arch continues to ascend and takes that next step like we saw Quinn Ewers do from year 1 to year 2. But I mean, Arch Manning, can Arch Manning be fixed? You guys let us know in the comment section below.